Hi guys, this is my July book haul, which is kind of big. I think I've given up on saying that I'm not going to buy books because it's getting a little out of hand. I think I have an addiction. This is not going to include the first couple of books from the July because of course I put them in my last haul video. So here I go. Now I have a colleague at work who's a very bad influence. We talk about books a lot, and she discovered that the Green Shed, which is like a recycle shop in Canberra, had a deal where if you signed up to be part of their book lovers club, you get any book on their shelves for $2. $2 books, people. I mean $2 books. Seriously? She told me this, I signed up, and I have a massive pile, if you just excuse me. Yeah, this is just not even all of what I bought at the Green Shed. I did buy a physical copy of Solace by Gail Carriger, but I've lent that to my colleague so far, so you know. So let's go with what I started with. I found a set of books that are absolutely gorgeous bound copies. I only bought 3, I didn't buy the whole set. But they're from the 60s, and they are biographies of famous women of history. The series is called, Women Who Made History. So I bought 3. This one is Boadicea by J.M. Scott. This one is Marie Curie by her daughter Eve Curie. And this one, which is a little bit damaged, is Eleanor Roosevelt, which is by Daniel Snowman. So I've got no idea when I'll get around to reading these biographies. I basically bought them because they were about women and they are kind of gorgeous. I mean, it's not my favourite colour of green, but the gold embossing, and I love them. So I bought those. Then I picked up Split, which is a novel by Tara Moss. I follow Tara Moss on Twitter, and I haven't actually read anything of hers yet. She writes crime novels, which is what this is, but I also somewhere have her biography, The Fictional Woman, which I really need to get around to reading. So yeah, I grabbed that. Then I grabbed Kathy, which is a sort of autobiography of Kathy Freeman, who's an Australian athlete who won a gold medal at the Sydney Olympics, and she's been through a lot of controversies because to do with her, racism, and because she's Indigenous. So this is Kathy, her own story, with Scott Gullen. So I grew up in my teens. I read a lot of sports biographies. So it's kind of shiny. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. I also found, again in the Green Shed, this, which is British Summertime by Paul Cornell. It's a former library book, and it's a really early Paul Cornell novel that I didn't even know existed. And I saw the name Paul Cornell, and I was like, is that who I think it is? And I looked it up, and it was like, yeah, it referred to him writing for the Doctor Who Virgin New Adventures. And so I'm like, okay. So yeah, I'm looking forward to picking that up. And then I also picked up The Song of Troy by Colleen McCullough. I was talking about Colleen McCullough's books I've never read her, but Tansy Rayner Roberts has, and we were talking about Roman history, and apparently she's written a couple that are about Roman women. And this one is not one of those, but it is a retelling of the fall of Troy, of the Trojan War. So, yeah, kind of interested to pick that up. So that was my Green Shed purchases. Then I kind of kept buying other things. So mainly, I picked up this week Imprudence by Gail Carriger. I actually pre-ordered this, which is the second book in her Custard Protocol series, which is her third series and her second adult series. The first one, which I cackled all the way through, I have already read this. So I'll talk about it a bit more in my July wrap up, but yeah, it's the second book in the Custard Protocol and involves the usual supernatural steampunk shenanigans of Gail Carriger's universe. So I'll talk about this again later. And then yesterday, Friday, I picked up 3 books from my local Demics. One which is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I am about halfway through this. I had already started reading it for the Hugo Awards, but the Voters Pack version only has half the book. So I was looking to pick up a copy, and I had to wait for a bit because they were out of copies. But yeah, I went in on yesterday and they had a whole bunch of new copies, and it's a gorgeous book. I love this cover. So yeah, this is a fantasy about a girl who gets chosen unexpectedly as this decade's sort of servant for the wizard who holds back the wood. And it turns out that there's a special reason why she was chosen when she didn't realise, because she has magic, and it's basically her adventures, and I'm really enjoying it. And then I picked up this absolutely gorgeous edition of Odyssey by Homer. I've never read this. I kind of vaguely know the story, and I recently read, and again it'll be in my wrap-up, Odyssey by Matt Fraction, which is the graphic novel retelling of the Odyssey, and I think I need to actually read the original to understand. Like, I enjoyed Odyssey, but I think I need to read the original to understand it better. And I'm studying ancient history, and I want to focus on the Greeks, and so I am probably going to end up having to read this anyway. And it's an absolutely beautiful flexible faux leather embossed cover, and I couldn't resist it, so I picked that up. And then I also picked up this, which is Collected Poems by Judith Wright. Judith Wright is an Australian poet. I don't read a lot of poetry, but I'm trying to read more. And I remember that I studied some Judith Wright poems in my English literature course in grade 11. I don't remember them all that well. It was quite some time ago. 15 years ago. So yeah, I really don't remember very well. But, you know, it's an absolutely beautiful edition, and, like, I love this cover. It's so beautiful, and I think an Australian poet, who I'm pretty sure I enjoyed previously, would be a good place to start with some poetry. So, yeah. And then this morning, I received 2 Book Depository boxes, which I've been avoiding Book Depository for a long time because it's quite dangerous with its free international shipping. And yeah, so I was looking for some specific things, and so I guess I'm going to open these. Wow, this is going to be interesting. An unboxing. So this, yes. So this is My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brodie Ashton and Jodie Meadows. I've heard a lot about this on BookTube. It's not available in Australia until November, but I couldn't wait because A, the hardcover copy is absolutely gorgeous, and it's got these beautiful sort of rough-edged pages, and Lady Jane Grey is my favourite historical figure. I've been kind of intrigued by her since I was a young girl. And so, yeah, this is apparently an alternate universe story of Lady Jane where everything goes different to what it actually did in history. So I'm really looking forward to this. Like I said, I've heard some really great things about it, and it's gorgeous, and it's my favourite historical figure. So, yay! And then this one, this might be a hard to take apart. Oh, don't you love that sound? This is my order of SF Masterworks. So I've been kind of eyeing off the SF Masterworks titles for a while. I don't read a lot of old science fiction. To be honest, I read more fantasy than anything, but I was kind of thinking, if I was going to start reading some old classics, I would probably go with the SF Masterworks. And then I thought, well, I should go and have a look and see if I can find some SF Masterworks by female authors, because, most of the things I do, if I'm going back and collecting something, I'll stick to, like, with my Funko Pops, I stick to female characters to try and keep myself in check. And so I went on and I ordered all the female authored SF masterworks that I could find on that particular day on Book Depository. So I have Arslan by MJN, which, let's see, what does it say? General Arslan sweeps into Craftsville, Illinois as the conqueror of America and Russia, which is no small achievement for a warlord from the tiny state of Turkestan. And then the charismatic and utterly ruthless Arslan sets about changing the world from his base in the town. For Franklin Bond, the principal of the Craftsville School, this is the beginning of a crash course in power, politics, compromise, and ambivalence. For Hunt Morgan, one of his students, it's a lesson in humiliation, subjugation, and love. So yeah, that sounds like a really interesting, I guess, alternate history where, you know, America's not the world power anymore and Russia's not a world power and they've been taken over. So yeah, I'm looking forward to picking that up. And then I also picked up Joanna Russ's The Female Man. I've been hearing about Joanna Russ mostly from the girls in Galactic Suburbia for a long time. And I've been keeping an eye out for her in secondhand bookshops and stuff, and I've checked my local library and they don't have any Joanna Russ, and it's kind of annoying. So when I saw it there, I thought I'd pick up The Female Man, which is probably her most famous novel. And if I read the back, it says, Joanna's world is recognisable. It's very much like ours. So is Janine's, except that in hers, the Second World War never happened, the Great Depression is still going on, and inequality is even more rampant. But Jeanette's world is rather different. On the planet While Away, there is no problem of relations between the sexes because there is only one. Janet is unfettered. She is free to lead her life as she wants, as an able and competent being, as a female man. So from what I understand, this is to do with what society would be like if there were no men. It's a very famous feminist work, so I really want to check this out. And it's quite short too, so I mean it's only 207 pages. So yeah, I really want to check this out. And finally, I picked up Pat Gadigan's Sinners. I'm aware that this is the book that's currently being read by the Magical Space Pussycats podcast. So I haven't actually listened to the second episode of that podcast yet because I kind of want to read the book since I picked it up. And it's a winner of an Arthur C. Clarke Award, and the back says, in Sinners, the line between humanity and technology is hopelessly slim. The human mind and the external landscape have fused to the point where any encounter with reality is incidental. Now you can change yourself to suit the machines, and all it will cost you is your freedom and your humanity. So I think this is sort of like a cyberpunk book, which again, something different, something interesting, and some classic science fiction. So I'm not even going to try and put up the whole pile of books because it's literally nearly reaching like the top of my chair and it'll all collapse and it'll be terrible. But yeah, so that's my July book haul. I have bought far too many books, most of them secondhand and really, really cheap, which is my bank balance is thankful for. But yeah, I'm not sure they're even going to fit on my to-be-read shelf, so I should probably start reading some of these. Alright, see you next time. Bye.